Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I'm here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe wants to share with us at this time, especially in regards to making space for ourselves, being gentle with ourselves, staying with ourselves instead of running away from ourselves. Just tapping into that childlike innocence and wonder and being with your inner child, because our inner children have been through a lot, and that also means that we're going to have to purge and release and clean up all the quote-unquote gunk that's coming up, because so many of us in society are used to pushing things to the side, saying, oh, I'll deal with that later, and it's constantly being pushed aside, sidestepped, swept under the rug, neglected, ignored, and it just keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So let's take a look at the cards and see what else the universe wants us to know. The first card we have coming out is Azure, protect yourself, and this means one, that you have strong, healthy boundaries, that you're able to tell people no when you mean no. You're not going to say yes to other people if it's a no to yourself. You're not going to put yourself in, harmful situations just to appease other people. I had a dream involving this deer. Deer can be very skittish, but this deer, it was following me sort of like a puppy. It was just so eager and excited to be around me. It was almost like it was in love with me, not in a romantic way, just like it adored me. It just wanted to be around me, and it was literally following me everywhere, and it was trying to get as close as possible. It wanted to be with me, and it was even going into these really public spaces, buildings with other people, and everyone was confused, and this doesn't make sense. Why is the deer here? Why is it so excited to be around you? What the heck? And it's I wasn't trying to have it follow me. It just would naturally gravitate towards me and just wanted to be with me. I didn't really even seem to care about the other people. It just wanted to be with me. And so this is sort of how we need to be with ourselves, our true selves, just step in authenticity, to be vulnerable, to be honest, to make space for ourselves, for our feelings, for our pain, to protect ourselves and be you know what? Come here. You can come with me. I will take care of you, inner child. I will protect you. I'm not going to say yes to all these people when it's actually a no to myself. And I'm not going to put myself in situations, because peer pressure is such a thing. And I remember growing up, all my peers and my siblings were oh yeah, I want to be popular, I want to go to these parties, I want to go out drinking, I want to experiment with these drugs, and I'm just I don't resonate with this. And so most of the time I just be in my room reading or doing art or writing or hanging out with my cat or just stuff like that, because I'm I don't I have zero interest in this. It's I do want genuine, deep, meaningful connections. I do want that. I do want friendship, but it's I want it with the right people. And all of you people, you want different things than I want. And it's just you're allowed to want what you want, but it's I'm not going to be around for it. And I do have my best friends since 6th grade, and we would just hang out. We'd watch anime, we'd read manga, we'd be goofing around, doing creative stuff, going on walks, making cookies and stuff. We would have fun that way. We didn't do the mainstream, quote-unquote, version of fun. What was, quote-unquote, normal. And so protect yourself. Value yourself. You don't have to do what other people do. You can make space for what you actually want. And, be kind of your biggest cheerleader, Be excited to, be yourself and be you know what, we're going to do what we want. We're not going to, do what's supposedly popular and quote-unquote normal to do if that doesn't align, Protect yourself and make space for your feelings, and not put yourself in situations where that people aren't going to respect you, that they're gonna, belittle and gaslight and demean and all of that. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be around those people. That's why I stopped being around that toxic group and the narcissist. It's why I'm not hanging around my former friend. It's why I end up being more of a night owl, in part because I'm pretty sure I am a night owl, but also to avoid all the drama of my family, because it's so quiet and calm and peaceful when they're all asleep. And so it's like, I get space to myself. I can protect myself and my energy, Gray, learn to scan your body. Yeah. See where the tension is, see where the discomfort is, see where things are stored in your body and need to be purged, to be released, to be cleaned up. Because the imagery coming in right now with how, society as a whole is just, running away from its problems, not making space for feelings, pushing things off constantly, like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually, back burner. I don't want to deal with it. It's uncomfortable. It's, unpleasant. It's icky. I don't want to deal with these intense negative emotions, like sadness and grief and frustration. Put you away, bottle you up, sidestep you, all that. Like, what's coming up when we keep doing that is that we're making it worse. And the imagery coming in is like, with pimples and whatnot, like, so many people, instead of trying to, help make it better, they try to cover it up and they keep pretending it's not there. And like, when we do stuff like that, it usually just makes it worse. And the imagery coming in is like, it starts off small, but it just keeps growing larger and larger and larger until you have to deal with it, because like, you can't ignore it. Like, how sometimes they will just like grow and like they just throb, and you might not even be doing much. Like, maybe you'll move a little bit and you feel it and it hurts, or like, because, it's so inflamed, or you just are existing and you're not moving and it hurts. Like, it's like, I'm here, you can't ignore me. Because a lot of our coping mechanisms and how we are in this society, we're, numbing out, using these unhealthy coping mechanisms like shopping and overeating and all these things. And it's just like the universe saying, hey, scan your body and feel these things out. Purge it, release it, clean it up, because it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And like, sometimes like it'll force itself to the surface and like to be purged. Like, sometimes these pimples and whatnot will pop on their own, and it's like, now you have to deal with it. Now you're going to deal with all this stuff coming up. And yes, it's gross and uncomfortable, and you're like, but you got to deal with it. But if we had been, dealing with things earlier on as they came up, it wouldn't be such a big deal, like, it'd be a lot easier to manage, to purge, to release, to clean up. It wouldn't have built up so much pressure and like become so intense. But we don't really give ourselves the chance to feel, to process, to scan the body, to see where we need to put more TLC into, what we need to tend to. And I get that sometimes with life, like, we can't do it instantaneously. We need to, table it for now. But it's just like, people in modern society never really get around to it, which is why we have so many of these issues. Like, I had been with the boys today, running them around to their activities, and we were backing out of the parking lot. It was a small parking lot. And so, like, these people were flying around trying to find a spot. And so I finally am able to get out, and I'm following someone else out. And this lady's coming in the wrong side. And she's, like, in her car getting so frustrated and, like, throwing her hands up. And they're like, what the heck? What the heck? And so, like, I'm like, what do you want us to do? Like, we're trying to leave. Like, if you want a spot, you can have ours. But, like, she was getting so frustrated. And she started flying around, zooming around the parking lot in tizzy because she's frustrated. It's like, that's what happens when we're not processing our emotions. We just get so frazzled and flustered and agitated, and we have these, emotional explosions. But if we would learn to scan our body and to process it earlier on, it wouldn't build so much pressure up. As this happens with my family all the time. They blow up and make mountains out of molehills, and they just, like, take things way too extremes. Like, guys, if we would process things and, allow it to purge and process and release and be felt instead of running away from it, numbing out and all that, we wouldn't have as many problems as we do. And I get that it's uncomfortable. I get that it's unpleasant and like icky and like all that. Like, I get it. I don't really want to sit with it either. If I'm honest, I'm human like you guys. And it's not fun because some of these emotions, they're very, very painful. They're very, very uncomfortable. They're very, very intense. And it feels like it's so overwhelming that it could drown you and pull you under and all that. But it's like we need to deal with it because part of the reason it gets so strong is because we didn't deal with it. Part of that could be we were never taught how, and so we didn't even know it was in us. Like that kind of thing. And part of it's just like we don't want to deal with it because it's not enjoyable. But we become so much freer and lighter and not having to deal with all, the throbbing pimples and whatnot when we actually do deal with it as they come up, Yeah. Release, but free yourself from pain, but also release. Like, yeah, it's very much a releasing and freeing yourself. Like, so many of us have put ourselves in unnecessary metaphorical chains. Like, so many of us have given ourselves these throbbing metaphorical pimples that are like, it just aches so much to even move and exist. You're like, I don't want to deal with it, and you're going to be so gross. But it's just like, we got to free ourselves from the pain. The universe doesn't want us to suffer. But part of this is our own doing. Part of it, no, like, we didn't do certain things. Like, we can't control what other people choose to do, and if they choose to be disrespectful and gaslight and manipulate and deceive and invalidate and scapegoat and all these things, like, we can't control what other people do. But at the same time, if we're like clinging on to, all these negative narratives, limiting beliefs, we keep having the same unhealthy coping mechanisms, and we stay in the comfort zone, the familiar, we might keep going towards the same types of people who do these things to us. And so it's just like the universe saying, hey, it's time to process, it's time to purge, it's time to release, it's time to feel, it's time to make space for you to sit with yourself, to, listen and see your inner child, all the past hurts, all your emotions, and to finally just be with it. Because that's what's going to set you free. And that's going to set you free from all these unhealthy coping mechanisms. It's going to set you free from all the pain. It's going to set you free from, the same habits and patterns and cycles where you keep coming across the same types of people and situations. It's going to allow you to heal. It's going to take time, it's not going to be overnight, but it will let you heal. Yeah, blue. Activate your healing power. The universe wants you to heal. It doesn't want you to be stuck in the same cycles and same patterns and dealing with the same unhealthy dynamics, the same types of toxic people, the same toxic environments, the same situations that keep having you feel small and deal with all these like hurtful emotions, all that. It doesn't want that for you. But we have to choose to heal. We can't keep running away. We got to make space, like our inner children, our wounded, inner selves, our feelings, like they can be skittish because so often we push them away. We don't make space for them. We ignore them and say, hush up, I don't want to see you, I don't want to deal with you. And it's time to finally sit with ourselves to make the space, because that's what's needed right now. Yes, it's unpleasant and uncomfortable, and it can hurt so bad because like some of this stuff, like we've been through it. Like, it's been intense. We've been through the ringer. We have not walked easy paths, guys. Like, society, it has a very dark underbelly, and there can be so much hurt, but we can choose to heal. We can choose it. Because when we don't heal, we end up going through the same cycles and patterns, and it doesn't help us, Lilac, strengthen your faith, yeah. Because a lot of us, when we are dealing with all these hurt and limiting beliefs and negative narratives and all that, and we have all these really brutal past experiences where people have just, devalued us, belittled us, gaslit us, scapegoated us, hurt us, betrayed us, all of that, like, we can start to lose faith in life, in the universe or the divine, in other people, in society. Like, there really is a dark underbelly. Some people really choose, hate and division and cruelty and nastiness and lying and deception and manipulation and gaslighting and all of this. They choose the disrespect. They choose to use you as a tool and then toss you out. Like, they choose that. And so you can get it into your head. It's like, well, I don't have faith in anybody anymore. I keep getting hurt. Like, this is horrible. But it's like, keep your faith. Strengthen your faith. Because not everybody's like that. Yes, there are some people who are making some really, really hurtful choices for themselves, and it impacts other people. And part of that is hurt people, Not that it gives them a free pass, not that they shouldn't be held accountable, not that they shouldn't learn, grow, and improve. But part of it is that they don't know better because they keep going through the same unconscious, unhealed, cycles and patterns and unhealthy coping mechanisms and all of that. So part of it's that some of the people just need to be shown that there's another way, and that will help them. And some of the people are just perfectly content in doing that, and they don't care if they hurt other people, and you have to be able to not be attached to outcomes, like if you break things down for other people and you explain how it's hurting you and you're being gentle and loving and caring and respectful and you're like, hey, I just want to work things out with us. I want us to learn, grow, and improve with each other. Some people aren't there. They're not there at that part of the journey and they don't want to, and you got to accept that. Like, some people aren't going to go the distance with you, and you got to make peace with that. It can suck, especially if they've been in your life a long time and you have so many memories with them and you were so invested in, you love them so much. Like, you got to let them have their own path and know that the right people will find you. That just because this person didn't want to, own up, didn't want to take accountability, didn't want to make amends, didn't want to apologize, didn't want to treat you with kindness and respect and all of that, just because there are some people who choose that doesn't mean everybody. That doesn't mean the universe is conspiring against you. It actually does love you. It actually is working things out in your highest good. Sometimes the universe will send us through these situations so that we can learn, grow, and improve, so we can recognize our worth and know what is acceptable treatment and what is not, and what we will accept moving forward. We'll have stronger, healthier boundaries. We have, excuse me, past life emotion lives in you. You are expressing more. It is releasing. Yeah, sometimes it's not even necessarily from this lifetime. It could be generational things that have been passed down. Sometimes those cycles and beliefs and all of that, it gets passed down from generation to generation. So sometimes it's not even a you thing. You're releasing it from, past lives. Sometimes it could just be you on your soul journey in literal past lives that you've had where things have worked out a certain way, and so you have those, deep-rooted fears and all that, and it's we can start feeling it and releasing it. We don't have to stay stuck in it, We don't have to be afraid of expressing. That's the thing with the dream about the deer that I had. The deer wasn't afraid to express how much it adored me, and it was eagerly following me around everywhere and just wanted to be near me. And that very much feels like our inner children, because as children we don't really have quote unquote filters, in the sense of we don't we say how we feel, and we're just eager to show up and love people and, embrace the magic and splendor and wonder of the world, and just every day is an adventure. And we're yeah, this is great. But as we grow up and we are experiencing all this stuff, we start walling our hearts off. We start closing ourselves off. We start being untrusting, and we don't have to be that way anymore. We don't. And how we get there is, we have to feel it, we have to release it, we have to process it. Yeah, because a lot of times it's fear. Shine love on fear. Love will light up the darkness. Yeah. Love is way stronger than fear. And if we can sit with the fear, the discomfort, the, mistrust, the paranoia, the doubt, the insecurity, whatever it is, if we sit with it and we just make space for it, and we even ask questions, because fear is false evidence appearing real. So if you start asking questions, let's say you're afraid that you won't find anyone, it's okay, so what happens if you don't find one? Well, then I'll be alone. It's is that a bad thing? Don't you have love for yourself? Can't, because for instance, when I got separated from that toxic group of the narcissist and all the other drama that's been going on, it's I've been very alone, but it's it also gives me all this much more time to focus on myself, to feel, to process, to purge, to release, to heal, to, work on my creative endeavors. And it's not I don't want to be around other people. It's not I hate other people, but it's right now it just feels okay, I'm alone. I don't have the people. I haven't met the new connections, but that just gives me time to work on myself. So yes, you could be fearful. It'll always be this way, but it's no, it won't, because life is full of different seasons and it's full of change. It's never going to be the same. From day to day, the weather is different, the temperature is different, the experiences you have are different. So it's shine love on the fear and just make space for it and be okay, so then what? And then what? And then what? Is that really true? Do you have any, evidence in your past experience to the contrary? And it's just and what if it's not actually the worst, but the best thing to happen for you? Just, start making space, reflecting, because love will overpower this fear, this doubt, this negativity. Yeah. Spend time on you, balance yourself, because so often we don't want to be alone because we don't want to have to face the feelings, face what's coming up. We try to silence it by running around from activity to activity to numb out and keep ourselves occupied with things like Netflix and chill. Not that it's bad to have other activities, not that it's bad to do things or even just to enjoy Netflix and shows and all that. But we need to be able to spend time on ourselves too, because that's what helps us balance ourselves. That's what helps us stay grounded and whole and healed, Because so many people aren't spending time with themselves. They're not processing. They're not seeing what's coming up. They're not dealing with things. They keep, sidestepping it, sweeping it under the rug, bottling it up, but trying to bury it. And it's that's not going to work. We are entering into this new period, and it's it feels quicker and quicker and quicker. When we try to bury things, it's going to pop to the surface faster, It's just really interesting times we're in, and I feel the universe is genuinely just asking us to spend time with ourselves and to heal and to process and to feel. Not to judge, not to shame, not to guilt trip and be how dare you feel this way? Good vibes only. Don't you know that feeling bad emotions is bad? It's that's the kind of thing the narcissist would tell me all the time. Always belittling me and invalidating me and being stop chasing sadness. It's bad to be sad. And it's it's a natural human emotion. It's bad to cling on to it and to be looking for reasons to be sad. But it's if you just happen to be sad, make space for it and feel it, And yeah, you have a sensitive antenna. Sensitive people collect emotions of others. That's another thing. It may not even be your emotions. You may be picking up on other people's emotions. I know, what was it, yesterday or the day before? I think it was 2 days ago. I had been getting really frustrated, and all of a sudden I was fine. I'm why is that? Why am I so easily triggered right now? And then I thought about it, oh yeah, my mom earlier, I want to say an hour, half an hour earlier, had just been blowing up everywhere and just getting frustrated over everything and slamming things and screaming. And I was I'm picking up on that. And once I had that realization, things simmered down. I still was feeling the frustration and all that, but I'm you're not even mine. You're not even mine. And so sometimes, if you're like me, you're very sensitive, you're empathetic, like you can pick up on others' emotions, you can feel the energies. Like I feel things pretty strongly and I'm really sensitive to it. It's like, it's not even yours. And sometimes like we come in and you could be like, oh, this is a curse to feel things. I was like, well, it's not always easy and it's not always fun, but it might be to help out the people who are refusing to feel things, to help process it for the collective, because there is a big, intense energy and emotions and all that with the collective. Like, it is all coming to the surface and people are not dealing with it well, And so just know that sometimes if you're feeling something intensely out of the blue, it's not even yours. Because that's happened to me out and about before. Like, I'll just suddenly be feeling so much dread and like doom and gloom and like bad things are going to happen. I'm like, where is this coming from? I was fine. And you can be picking up on other people's energies. It's not necessarily yours. Okay. We have Ocean's Offering. Listen to the whispers of your soul and let the beauty of simplicity guide you. Yeah. So often, people make things more complicated and complex and like just over the top than they need to be. Like I just remember looking at things, I'm like, why are people doing it this way? Because I remember like even with like family and friends, like they'll be like making it this whole drawn out process. I'm like, why don't you just ask them? Why are you assuming? Like, why are you coming up with this whole story and explanations and what you're going to do if they do this and what you're going to do if they do? Like, why not just ask them if they want to join or if they're going to do this or that or the other or what they're going to be doing? Like, why are we making it so much more complicated? Like, why can't we simplify it? Like, it's so easy nowadays with technology to just send a text or to call or whatever, or it's like, or you like, it's because we have cars and all that, we can drive up and meet people so much easier. It's like, why are we making it so much more complicated than it needs to be? And it's like sometimes that's just also with ourselves, like we'll be like, oh, well, I have to do this and doing the what ifs. Like, why not just slow down, breathe, feel, process, and just get more present, be more mindful, be more intentional, and like live in the here and now. I saw I guess it was like a meme, but it's more like a motivational image. Like, worry doesn't actually fix the future's problems, it just robs you of today's peace. And I was like, that's true. Because worrying doesn't actually fix anything in the future. A lot of times it doesn't even happen, but like what it's guaranteed to do is rob you of the peace of today. And not that it's, you should punish yourself or get mad at yourself if you do have the human emotion and, have that natural experience of being human and having the fear. Make space for it, listen to it, but just know you don't need to feed into it. Because the more you give it your time, energy, and attention, like we're like, oh, what if this happened? Because you know how we can go in those downward spirals as humans. I'm there with you guys. Like, I've been there, done that. But does it actually help us? Does it actually serve us to invest so much time, energy, and attention into that negativity? Yes, make space for it. Yes, see it. Yes, allow whatever comes up to come up so you can process it, you can feel it, you can release it. But like to cling on to and be like, it's definitely gonna happen. It's like, do we really need to? No. Why not listen to the whispers of our soul? Why not be gentle? Why not, embrace the beauty of life and get back to basics, to make things more simplistic, to stop making things so complicated, Because there's just so much unnecessary complications in the modern world. Sea turtles. Navigate life's challenges with patience and grace, trusting that slow and steady progress leads to success. Yeah. You don't have to heal it all at once. You don't have to feel it all at once. Sometimes we don't have the time because, we have all these things going on. But make space for yourself and start showing up for yourself. Start filling up your cup. Start making space for yourself. Start allowing yourself to be seen and heard. If other people aren't willing to do it, then do it for yourself, It's time to heal. It's time to be gentle with yourself and have patience. Be like, you know what? I'm doing the best I can. This will be slow and steady progress. I am a work in progress. I am becoming better and better and better. I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to check in with myself. I'm going to free myself from pain. I'm going to heal. I'm going to shine love on fear. I'm going to spend time with myself. I'm not going to show up for everybody else and just be pouring out of myself and giving and have nothing left for myself. I also matter. I'm going to come at this with patience and grace. You know? Dolphins, find joy in playful connections and let your intuition guide you to deeper understanding. Yeah. That's why the universe wants us to tap into our inner children more, because our inner child is great at it. Like, children are great at having those playful connections and deeper understanding through just joy and fun and exploration and imagination and just the splendor and wonder of life, and be like, oh wow, anything's possible. We could use more of that, you know? It would help us heal so much, because so many of us are like, no, this is how it is, and it's not. Life just has so much more love and joy and abundance and possibility and prosperity in it. It just gets so separated from the truth a lot of times, because, you know, we get so tripped up by what society says. And yeah, we don't usually make space for things either. Space. May your heart and your scope expand. Make space for you and other people, but start with yourself, because if you can't be honest and open and loving and gentle with yourself, you can't really do that well with other people. Like, I think that, I don't know if it was a study with research or like it's just like a saying or whatever it is, but like, I remember coming across somewhat recently that you can only love other people as deeply as you love yourself. You can only be as honest with other people as you are honest with yourself. And so it's just like, make space for yourself and watch it shift and change everything. Because it's going to help you heal. It's going to free your heart and your mind and your soul. Yeah. Compassion. We need more compassion and gentleness and love in this world. May you tend to the suffering. Tend to your hurts. Tend to your emotions. Tend to your past traumas and your past, pains and all the emotions you've been burying. Make space for it in gentleness, grace, compassion, and patience. Like, have more love for yourself. Be more empathetic. Like, show up for yourself and support yourself and be like, I got you. I got you. Like, yes, life can be so hard and people can make some really, really hurtful, unkind, disrespectful choices. I see you. I hear you. I understand. My heart goes out to you. Because so many of us are having these, unconscious, emotionally triggered reactions to things instead of, being able to respond intentionally, because of all the suffering that we keep burying and pushing down and neglecting and ignoring, and be like, nope, not dealing with that. I'm going to lock you up in a box, throw away the key, and never get you out again. It's like, no. We need to tend to it. We need to tend to it. We need to make space for it. It's uncomfortable, yes, but we need to make space for it. Yeah, so we can shine. May you be a lighthouse. And just choosing to make space, to be compassionate, to tend to all the emotions, to the hurts, shining love on fear, spending time on yourself, freeing yourself from pain, all that, it's going to allow you to be a lighthouse. You're going to show people that there are other ways to be, that they don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, that we can choose a new path, that the old ways, even if they quote unquote kind of work, because that's just what's been normalized and that's just how it sounds, like, doesn't mean it actually works, and it doesn't mean it's the best way of doing it. But sometimes people need that example. They need to be shown that there are different ways to do it in order to know that they have options. Yeah, your pain is not your identity. It's not your identity. It's not who you actually are. Yes, you experienced it. Yes, it could be brutal, but you don't have to make it your narrative. You don't have to embrace that victimhood and be like, I am the victim. You can choose to let it go. You can free yourself from the pain. You can heal. It's not your identity. It's not who you are. You are not someone to constantly be disrespected and belittled and invalidated and gaslit and deceived and manipulated. You are someone deserving of respect. You are inherently worthy. You deserve love. Your pain is not your identity. You don't need to subscribe to that. Yeah. Healing is your superpower. Healing is your superpower. You can heal and learn and grow so much. So often we don't give ourselves enough credit. We play small, we dim our light, we settle for less. We're just like, I guess this is as good as it gets. And it's like, the universe wants you to know it gets so much better. But we have to choose to heal. We have to choose to make space. We have to choose to actually sit with ourselves, to make the space to see and feel and listen to everything that comes up. You have to shine the love on fear, because we can do so much more than we give ourselves credit, but we actually have to go through it. We can't just avoid it and put it on pause and keep burying it and sidestepping it forever. We got to choose to heal it. And we can heal so much. We can do so much more than we give ourselves credit. Yeah, choose yourself today. Allow yourself to bloom. Make space for yourself today. Show up for yourself today, because you deserve it. You are inherently worthy. You deserve joy. You deserve peace. You deserve healing. You deserve respect and love and kindness. You deserve it. Spend time on you. Choose yourself today and fill up your cup. You're a beautiful person. We have stepping into a new experience. And for a lot of us, making the space, finally sitting with ourselves, allowing it all to come up, to be felt, to be seen, to be heard, to heal it. It is a very new experience, because if you're like me, you weren't taught this. You were taught that your emotions are too much to basically shut up, be quiet, and take up the least amount of space possible. It's like the society, it hasn't done us many favors in terms of, showing up for ourselves and allowing ourselves to heal and to process and just feel and be human. But we're stepping out into this new experience. We're going to start protecting ourselves. We're going to have those strong, healthy boundaries. We're going to scan our body. We're going to free ourselves from the pain and heal and have faith in ourselves, in the universe, the divine, humanity, and know that we can overcome so much more than we have so far, that it's not going to be like this. It's going to get better. But we have to feel in order to heal. We have to release in order to learn, grow, and improve. We can't keep, all these metaphorical chains on us. It's restricting our movement. And it's basically like the chains are sort of like a chrysalis or a cocoon. And once we finally break free of them, we're going to transform and metamorphosize into the butterfly. We're going to free ourselves. It's going to be beautiful. Yeah. It's going to be tricky, but staff, you will be taken care of in difficult times. The universe has our back. It's looking out for us, so don't worry. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Feel whatever you need to feel, because it's going to be okay. The universe has your back. You will be taken care of. You're going to go to brighter days, okay? Yeah, tortoise, slowly but surely getting ahead. You are making progress, even if it doesn't feel like it. In the end, with the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise was the one that won. So you don't need to rush. You don't need to cut corners. You don't need to try to push yourself harder and harder and harder, doing the hustle and the grind. It's like, you can slow down. You can breathe. Pace over race. You don't have to rush. It's all going to work out. Yeah, tower. Solid foundation, success with effort. You are putting in so much effort. And because you're building this solid foundation for the next chapter of your life, you are going to have success. You are going to be prosperous. You're going to heal. You're going to learn. You're going to grow. You're going to be able to thrive. All because of all the effort you're putting in. It's not easy. But you're going to be able to thrive. Yeah, rainbow. The most difficult part of the situation is over, because you are finally feeling. You are finally making space. You're finally allowing yourself to heal and to sit with yourself and to stop pushing yourself away. to stop running away from yourself, from your emotions, from your past. That's the most difficult part of the situation, honestly. It is so much easier to run away and to pretend. But once we finally sit with ourselves, it's going to change everything. We're going to make space and we're going to heal. Yeah, grapes. We will reap what we sow. We're going to have a bountiful harvest, the fruits of our labors. Time to go out and have fun. Because we don't need to buy into the fear, the negativity, the doubt, the insecurity, the suffering. We don't have to be chained by it anymore. We can go out and have fun. We can enjoy life and know that it's a beautiful place to be. Yeah, wishbone. A wish is granted. Your wish for love, your wish to be able to thrive, a wish for a happy, peaceful life, it'll be yours. Because you're doing the work. Because you're showing up for yourself. Because you're choosing yourself. You're not putting yourself on the back burner anymore. You're not shoving your, wounded inner child in a closet and ignoring them. It's like, nope, can't hear you, la, 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 la. It's like, you're finally showing up for yourself and making space for yourself and choosing yourself. And it's beautiful. It's going to unlock so many doors and opportunities for you. And you're not going to even recognize your life, honestly. Like, it's going to change completely for the better. Like, you were literally going from caterpillar to butterfly. And it's beautiful. But yeah, I'm there with you guys. I'm in this process just as much as you, and it can be a doozy. But I'm sending you all so much love. Please take care. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.